صلى الله وسلم عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المعصومين المنتجبين. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة المظلومة. ما خاب من تمسك بكم وأمن من لجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. أولم يكف بربك أنه على كل شيء شهيد. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the love of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, with the loudest of our voices, sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. For the purification of our hearts and hastening of the reappearance of our beloved, the 12th Imam, with the loudest of our voices, sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Once again, mu'mineen and mu'minat, lovers and the followers of Ahl al-Bayt, we thank Allah for gracing us with this wonderful moment, third night of the holy month of Muharram, to continue seeking the understanding of our faith with the sole aim of establishing strong proximity to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Last night, we looked at the guided community. And we encourage one and all, whether those in leadership position or those of us who are the members of our communities, to try as much as we can to play our part. You know what is interesting is that when we speak and we encourage people to do something, what consoles is one beautiful tradition from Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. That Imam says, لَأَنْ يَهْدِيَ لَكَ اللَّهُ رَجُلًا وَاحِدًا خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِمَّا طَلَعَتْ عَلَيْهِ الشَّمْسِ. For Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to guide one person through you, just one person, is better for you than whatever sun shines on. If one person takes small lesson from what I say, I've delivered. I don't expect everyone to take it. Allah has not convinced the entire world. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has not convinced the entire world. Amirul Mu'mineen Salamullah alayh has not convinced the entire world. What is important for just one person to take that lesson and reflect, then inshallah on the day of Qiyamah, one will be comfortable heart on hand to say, Ya Allah, we have delivered. Because the Holy Prophet said on Ghadir, have I delivered or not? And all of them said, you have delivered. But a good number of them did not follow the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. But it doesn't mean Prophet wasted his time. Prophet delivered. The verse I've just quoted for tonight is a very interesting verse of the Holy Quran. It's Quran 43, verse 51. Allah in this beautiful verse says, Sanurihim ayatina fil afaqi wa fi anfusihim. He said, indeed, we will show them our signs in the universe and in themselves. Hatta yatabayyana lahum annahu al-haq. Until it transpires to them that indeed Allah is the truth. Then he says, أَوَلَمْ يَكْفِ بِرَبِّكَ أَنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدٍ. Isn't it enough that God is apparent and manifest in everything? Now, departing from this beautiful verse, our topic of tonight is in a form of a question. And it's a question I would like each and every one of us to reflect on. Ponder, discuss with your friends, discuss with your family members. Just keep pondering on this question. What is the question? How do we uncover creativity within our community? It's a very important question, which no doubt linked with yesterday's discussion. Our examination of tonight is of the following two stages. The first stage, we'll look at two major ways of reaching Allah. Because there are so many ways, but Quran highlight on just two major ways of seeking divine proximity. And then the last stage of our examination tonight will focus more on the phenomena of creativity. What is creativity? How do we uncover creativity in our communities? And how do we instill the principles of creativity or the spirit of creativity in our communities? So kindly, brothers and sisters, pay attention. Let's take something from tonight's discussion. First stage of the examination. How do we reach Allah? This is a question many people ask. Quran makes it crystal clear on how to reach Allah. Before we look at how Quran discusses this, I would like to say this. You know, we all hear why? Because you have to commemorate. But what's the essence of that commemoration? It is to gain divine proximity. Why do I undertake ziyarah? It's because Imam Hussein is means to God. My ultimate aim is God. But the best vehicle for that are the Ahlul Bayt. I personally cannot do it without Ahlul Bayt. And I believe wholeheartedly it is impossible to do it without Ahlul Bayt. But ultimate is God. We're not worshipping Hussein, salamullah alayh. We're not worshipping Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. But these are our channels to Allah. So whatever means the Holy Quran highlights when it comes to divine proximity, for those means to be effective, one will need to hold on to Ahlul Bayt. The verse I quoted earlier on, kindly I beg you, pay special attention to this verse. Beautiful verse. Sanurihim ayatina fil Quran 41:53. We will indeed show them our signs in the universe and in themselves. For what reason? So that it transpires to you that there is no haqq but Allah. Now, when you examine this verse, you realize that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala highlights on two major ways of reaching Him. One way, tariqu afaqi. Some will say ma'rifatun afaqi. The other way, tariqu nafsi or ma'rifatun nafsi. Look at the first way. All in this ayah. Reaching Allah through universe. The other way, reaching Allah through oneself. Let's look at the first way and then we come to the second way. How do I reach Allah through universe? Universe is massive. It's magnificent. How do I do so? Here, what Quran expects us to do, which sometimes cannot be easy, is to read this universe attentively. Anyone who reads and examines this universe attentively, it will take him to Allah. Like scholars give few examples. Say an astronomer, if he or she pays special attention to this world, to this universe, unconditional attention, eventually he or she will reach to God. Medical doctor, if he or she pays special attention when examining the body of insan, it will take him or her to God. That's what they call knowing God through universe. The other way of knowing God is knowing God through oneself. Ma'rifatun nafsi aw tariq nafsi. Because Allah says, وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ. We will show them our signs in themselves. And this is the non-tradition we all know. Man arafa nafsahu fakad arafa rabbah. Waman jahila nafsahu fakad jahila rabbah. Whoever knows himself knows his Lord. And whoever is ignorant of him or herself, he or she will be ignorant of his or her Lord. Easier said than done, isn't it? Amirul Mu'minin, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. He said, Ma'rifatun nafsi anfa'ul ma'rifatayn. So if you compare these two ways of getting to Allah, the best of the two is to know Allah through oneself. Question. Why knowing Allah through oneself is the best of the two? It's simply because knowing Allah through universe is a process. You need to read this world, you need to process it, you need to analyze it, and sometimes it may be cumbersome. But when it comes to myself, simply look at the stages of your life. If you have a deeper understanding of the stages of your life, you will easily find Allah. That's why Quran asks a rhetorical question. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. In yourselves, can't you see? Can't you see? Do you need someone foreign from you to show you Allah? As Sayyid al-Sajidin mentioned, Bika araftuk, I know you through you. Wa anta dalaltani ilayk, and you are the one who show me who you are. Allah, if it wasn't of you, I wouldn't have known you. But now question, kindly look at this question. How do I know myself? Through myself. If you understand this line, I've delivered. To know myself, my dear brother and sister, is to realize one thing. Each and every creature of Allah, on top of course is insan, has a divine light in him or her. There is no creature of Allah who has no divine light in him or her. There's a longer ayah, 24, 35, Surah An-Nur, but I will just give few lines of it. Allah says, Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. Allah is the light of the heaven and earth. Now, when you go further, Allah says what? Nurun ala nur. It's light upon light. Different discussions among scholars. One of the discussion is that Nurun ala nur simply means what? Each and every creature of Allah has a divine light. Moon has light of Allah. Sun has light of Allah. In sun there is light of Allah in you. Now question. How do I get to that light of Allah? Because when I get to that light, I will know myself. And if I know myself, I will know my Lord. The way to get to that light, my dear brothers and sisters, is to be able to uncover your God-given talent. God-given talent is a divine light. How many of us, after 70 years, they discovered their God-given talent? Some only when they're about to die, they discover their God-given talent. You know why? Because we don't have time for ourselves. We're busy looking for something else, paraphrasing the tradition of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and we have lost ourselves somewhere else. Now there's an ayah in Quran which discusses this. Quran 30 verse 22. Surah Al-Rum. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. He said, of the signs of Allah is the creation of the heaven and the earth, and the diversity of your tongues and colors. Now this diversity of tongues and colors, it is loosely translated languages and colors. We are black, brown, white, I don't know, traditional. But one of the meaning of it is what? You are all created of a different talent. Think about this. Different talents. And in this, there are signs of Allah. Even siblings, they are not of the same talents. You find siblings from same family, different talent altogether. وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. These talents that we have, and I spoke about it a little bit last night, these are signs of Allah. Do you know what? Anyone who managed to uncover his God-given talent will know himself. And then if you know yourself, you will know your Lord. Allah, the struggle, Mullah, we don't know ourselves. I'm trying to teach you about yourself, but I don't know myself. If you know yourself, you will find God easily. Ala wa fi kulli shay'in aya tadullu ala annahu mawjood. Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi. Imam Muhammad said, wake up from sleeping. That Allah is something massive. Wake up from stop sleeping. It's like a bell, idrabul intiqal. Stop sleeping. In each and everything, there is a sign to show that God is there. But the biggest sign is in you. This first stage of the examination. Now hold on, let's go to the second stage. What's the last part of the first stage? Uncover your God-given talents. When you uncover the talent to Hussein, you will know yourself. And the moment you know yourself, man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa. You know, we have a tradition. I'm sure most of you know this tradition. At-turuku ila Allahi bi'adadi anfasil khalaiq. He said, ways to Allah are according to the number of the breathing of everyone. Well, I know some scholars, how they explain it. They say, no. Nuru Muhammad, your nafs is way to Allah. Hussein, your nafs is way to Allah. Muhammad, your nafs to way to Allah. So you are one nafs to way to Allah, second nafs to way to Allah. Meaning what? The best ever tool you can have to Allah is yourself. Spend time getting to know who you are. Now this brings me to the second stage of the exam, which is the most important. The phenomena of creativity. I need to know my God-given talent. But if I don't know whether I'm creative or not, or my son is of early maturity or not, I will not be able to uncover my God-given talent, let alone knowing myself, and in return, gain divine proximity. So I'm going to discuss the following in this second stage. 1. What is creativity? Al-ibda'. 2. What are the elements of creativity? Please, I repeat this. I beg you, pay attention to this. And if you have any question, do not hesitate. I beg you. Number 3, how do I uncover the talent of my child? My sons and daughters. Parents are making la ilaha illa, la ilaha illa. Some don't have the talent to become Maulana, but parents are forcing them. Some don't have the talent to become public speakers. Parents are forcing them, community pressure on them. Some don't have the talent to become doctors, but they are forced to become doctors. Baba, some don't have the talent to become our community leaders, but they are pushed to become leaders because of unnecessary politics. Talent is crucial. That's why this subject for me is of great importance. Because others are using it. Hence they will send this one Cambridge, this one Oxford, this one Harvard. In future you become the president, you become the prime minister. It's a class. Why can't we do the same so that we can prepare for the reappearance of Abu Salih al-Mahdi? Talent is crucial. What is talent? What are elements of talent? Creativity. How do I uncover my child's creativity? How do I instill the spirit of creativity, especially in madrasa? Kindly again to come forward according to the volunteers. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Creativity, my dear brothers and sisters, if you ask good number of people, define creativity, al-ibda', they will simply say intelligence or smartness. But creativity is not just intelligence and smartness. You know why? There are 2 types of intelligence. We have a narrow or normal intelligence and extraordinary intelligence. You know, Einstein, who has the theory of relativity, he discusses this. What is normal intelligence? Is when a person is asked a question and he or she responds in a simple, normal way, usual way. What is extraordinary intelligence, smartness, witness? It's when a person responds to a question, but in an unusual way. I'm going to give you an example to appreciate this. It's just definition of creativity. Someone comes to you and says to you or asks you a question. Why is Imam Amir al-Mu'minin so superior? Somebody may give you a simple question, Habibi. Answer. It's because Prophet said on the day of Ghadir, Allahumma wali man walahu wa adi. No, somebody will give you a simple answer. Because it is said, La fata illa, wa la sayfa illa. That's a simple one. Anyone who answers this way, it means he's smart. Normally smart. Creativity is not this one. Creativity is extraordinary intelligence. Same question. Why Imam Ali is so superior? So I take you to what Hassan Basri mentioned. He said he's so superior because all need Ali, but Ali doesn't need anyone. Smart. He's not caught in any hadith. He's not caught in any ayah. He's using his own intelligence. That everybody knock Ali, 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 but Ali is only Allah Muhammad. So that's the definition of creativity. Extraordinary intelligence and smartness. Now let's come to the elements or the features of creativity. Very important. The first feature of creativity is smartness. You must be smart, bro. You must be intelligent. Otherwise, you cannot be creative. And as some scholars mention, smartness is what? Like between 120 to 130. Some said your IQ between 120 to 129. That's even extreme. They say lower than that is also good. But there is no way one can be creative and productive without being smart and intelligent. Second element of creativity, flexibility. You know, there are two types of people. Shakhsiyya namati and shakhsiyya taghiri. This type, same modus operandi for the past 100 years. No change, hakuna change. Same old school. I go to the mosque, same old school. Yes, it's working for you, but it may not make work for most of the young ones. So long as it will lead us to Ali and Ali will lead us to Allah, change. When you are so stuck, you know, when you become stuck, what happens? You will deprive the manifestation of creativity. You know the tradition very well. Man tasawa yawmahu fahuwa magbun. Anyone whose 2 days are equal is a loser. Last year, our community is this year the same. We're not saying change for the sake of changing. Positive change. Imam Ali changed. He would have stayed in Medina, but he had to go to Mecca. And then no, Kufa. Abu Abdullah changed. And he changed so many strategies in Karbala. Baba Salman al-Farisi suggested to Prophet during the battle of Khandak, and Prophet accepted it. So second element of creativity is what? Flexibility. I mentioned last night. You want to do the same thing you've been doing and you expect the same result? No, bro, please, man. Please, I beg you, man. 100 years ago, Thursday night, mosque full. You're doing the same thing, box been ticked. After 100 years, you're doing the same, and you expect the same crowd. No. No, but why Muharram people come? Because Hussein is Hussein. Third element of creativity. Beautiful. My dear brothers and sisters, is to deal with your fear of the unknown. Ikhamul majhul. How many of us are stuck because of the fear of the unknown? You want to start a business? No, it won't work out. You want to go to Hausa to study? It won't work out. He wants to leave Hausa to come and do tabligh? It won't work out. You want to start memorizing Quran? It won't work out. Fear of the unknown will deprive you of your creativity. That's why Amir will mention, فَإِذَا خِفْتَ مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَقْعَ فَإِنَّ إِنْتِظَارَكَ لَهُ أَشَدُّ مِنْ مَرَارَةِ الْوُقُوعِ فِيهِ. Amir we said, the moment you begin to become anxious, scared, should I do? I shouldn't do. Should I do? I shouldn't do. Imam Ali said that is the time you should do, because you waiting for it is more dangerous than doing it. So it's very important, Habibi. I need to deal with my fear of the unknown. Of course, fear of the unknown causes anxiety also in life. It causes depression. Because somebody's been diagnosed of cancer, so you're thinking every other moment you'll be told you have a cancer. Because somebody has lost money, you're thinking that the next moment you're going to be told you've lost some money. Fear of the unknown. Let's deal with it. That's number 3. Number 4 element of creativity. Be your authentic self, Habibi. Be yourself. Anyone who pretends and wants to please others will not be creative. There are people in the community, they jump left and right. They just want to please people. Anyone who is of that sort will deprive himself of creativity. And then the next one, my dear brothers and sisters, is the willpower. Willpower, quwwatul irada, is element of creativity. And you know, when it comes to will, this irada, many people ask question, what is it? It is the power of self over body. That's will. Yourself tells you go to Mahfil Abbas, you start going. Yourself tells you watch that no Muharram, you start watching. So the chief component of my existence and your existence is self. Nafs. And the best way to look after this nafs is to work on your willpower. I'm not going to talk much on this, but I'd like to share few things you shouldn't do in your life. If you do them, wallahi, you destroy your willpower. One of them, being negative so much. You know, there are people too negative. I'm sure you've all come across people too negative. Oh, give him a chance, man. Sometimes, you know, you tell him, okay, employ people. No, it's not Shari. No. No, this is not Shari. These are finished. Baba, be positive. No, sometimes you sit here, you speak. No, this Hoja, they will never change. Who told you? Which Wahi gave you Hoja will not change. They've changed a lot. And they're doing a lot across the globe. Being negative destroys our willpower. In everything, don't be negative, Abibi. Second element that destroys our willpower is what? Surrounding yourself with negative people. You know, there are people you come to them, Habibi, I would like to do this. it will not work out. Don't waste your time. Okay, can we look at it this way? Forget it, you're wasting your time. Can we try maybe Dubai and do something? You know what? You're wasting. I'm not saying keep doubting people, but these are teachings. I'm willing to give you a hadith in this regard. But because of time, I'm doing like this. Surrounding other negative people, Habibi, your willpower will go on. How many of our youth, they go to uni? First year, they change the course. After the parents have spent 20,000 pounds, 30,000 pounds, they change. Willpower. How many of us are so vulnerable in front of sins? We commit sins just overnight when I look at my phone because willpower is not strong. You know, the next thing we need to be wary of, don't do it because it kills your willpower. Being short-tempered. Sur'atul infi'al. That one, if you are really somebody with serious anger, then you need anger management. Because high-level anger destroys willpower. You know why? You're going to spend time contemplating about the matter. Keep contemplating. By the time you realize your energy is gone. But do you know what to do to strengthen that willpower? Tawakkul on Allah. Rely on Allah. I'm saying it from the bottom of my heart to the youth who are sitting here. Sky is the limit. Be reasonable, ambitious. Rely on Allah. You will fall today. You will rise tomorrow. You may fall the next day. You will rise tomorrow. But when you rely on Allah, eventually there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Our problem is what? We claim to love Allah, but we do not necessarily rely on Allah. How do I build my reliance on Allah? Dua, Sadaqah, Quran, Sile Rahim. And then you say, Tawakkaltu ala Allahi Rabbi wa Rabbikum. So willpower is an element of what? Creativity. Now let's go to the next question. How do I, these leaders of the community and parents, listen very carefully, and even youth and children, uncover the creativity of my children? So here I'm not talking only children, but because children, they are fertile ground. We can begin now. Even youths, it's not late. I'm going to give you, kindly allow me some punchlines. Things when you see in someone, note that this person, great potential, man. So that, you know, our community, we can work on our future leaders. We can work on our future Maulanas. We raise them properly, then they come and do it well. The first thing when you spot in a child is fuduli, inquisitive mind. If you have children, watch that. They ask questions about everything. You know, today there are some people in the community, when people start asking questions, they label them. Well, like this chokro, who's chokro? She are not good. Baby, if you don't answer, he will go and find a question on social media, and it may not be the right one. When he starts his own thing, you start crying, our community is finished. Some children, they can even ask you, this silver tooth, why are you wearing it? Don't get worked up. It's important. If you don't handle it well, you will destroy the confidence of that child. That's number one, fuduli. But you see, under this inquisitiveness, there are two things. One, they ask a lot of questions. The other one, no, they don't ask a lot of questions. But when they see someone doing something, they try to do it. This will start year 2, 3. You're trying to pray, your son and daughter, they are trying to pray. You try to fix something in the house, they are trying. Wallahi, Westerners have done this and they've gone far in their. That's why we have grammar schools in the UK. Read the history of grammar school and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Every year, 1,000 seats for year 11 exams, but they choose only 400, 300 to go. Why can't we do it? Habibi, we are the followers of Rahmatul Lil Alameen. We are the followers of Asadullah al-Ghalib. Why can't we do it, Habibi? Sometimes you come in our community, not even houses. You find this youth, the way he's asking questions. This can be someone in future. But who is there to take him on board, to pick him up, to help him, to nurture him? Sometimes that particular child may be from very poor family who have to depend on loans to go to university. And because community is unable to spot that, the talent is wasted somewhere. That's number one, Fuduliya. Let's go number 2, way to spot talent or creativity in our children. The power of intuition, Quwwatul Hats. Not every child has the power of intuition. They may all be smart. We all sitting here, not everyone has power of intuition. What is power of intuition? You give them complex problem, complex issue at work, Mr. Javana, and they are able to resolve it for you. It means they've got the power of intuition. In the house, you give your children complex mathematical issues. And within a twinkle of an eye, your son or daughter, this means don't joke. This can be a true lover of Imam al-Zaman. Work on him. Work on him. It's not easy to become a true lover of Ahlul Bayt. I can be half baked, half cooked. But the real one, Zindabad, is not easy. They need to be helped. They need to be supported so that they become lovers and followers of Ahlul Bayt, all rounded. Top-notch lawyer, tick. Top-notch doctor, tick. Top-notch judge, tick. Top-notch GP, tick. Top-notch Maulana, tick. But bottom line, with all that they've achieved in their life, the topmost priority in their life is the love of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. So that's number 2, the power of intuition. Number 3, parent, leaders of our community. You want to spot talent? Sur'atul Istiqbal. They are quickly in receiving things. They easily. It may take you 1 month to understand. But for them, he sits with his iPhone. They understand. Wallahi. And if you have children, I'm sure you'll understand what I'm talking about. And those of you who teach in madrasa, you need to understand these kind of things. Amir al-Mu'mineen, you know very well, Salamullah alayh. He taught generally and he taught specific. Generally, everyone who wanted to learn. But specific, these are talents. Rushayd al-Hijri, Hijri ibn Amak al-Khuzai, Maysam al-Tammar, Kumail ibn Ziyad al-Naqai. These are special talent that Amir al-Mu'mineen built. The Holy Prophet, Miqdad, Salman, you name them, he built them. You come to Abu Abdullah Salamullah alayh, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas Salamullah alayh, Safir al-Hussein. Who is Safir al-Hussein? Muslim bin Aqil. This is a special talent. So that's number 3. Sur'atul istiqbal. They receive, they accept, they understand easily. And those children, they've got what? Al-Qudra al-Jam'i wa Taqsim. Allahu Akbar. You want to spot a talent? You can give them an head of task. Or you go to a shopping mall and buy a dummy aeroplane or dummy truck. You bring it home. Father is trying to look at the menu banner. You try, but by the time you come back, the child is able to assemble it. Baba, this is talent. Don't joke. Seriously, this is very important for me. This is so important. I can't overemphasize. You are trying to read the TV search, but the children will take the remote overnight. They finish. You know what the parent will say? MashaAllah, children of today, children of today. Allahu Akbar. Sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I don't want to mention names. If some other people, they will not say children of today. They say, you know what, this one, he will be something in future. Take care of him. He'll be something. And then the last but certainly not the least way to determine whether your son or daughter's creativity is what? You give them task in the community. Give them complex task. Not just sharing chai. Tell them, you know what? This entire program, I want you to run it. Go sit and keep quiet. If they do due diligence, it means it's your responsibility to look after them and let the Jamaat sponsor them to go to the next level. Not all should get loan. Most might get loan. But those who are on top with creativity, why they should get loan? These are cream la cream. And we need them to come back and become the leaders of the community. Now question. How do we as communities instill the spirit of creativity? Obviously, in addition to what I've mentioned. I think this is my personal opinion. I stand to be corrected. And this is tried and tested. Every community must have a specialist psychologist. I may sit here and talk about creativity, but I may not be able to determine much. So I will need not just a psychologist, specialist psychologist. And I'm sure we have them in our communities. What will be the work of specialist psychologists? To determine the talents. So in a year, say for example, Dar es Salaam Jamaat will sit in their AGM and say, you know, when we look at our directory, we have a lot of medical doctors. I think for the next year, as Dar es Salaam Jama'ah, we need this field. So the specialist psychologist will say, you know what? This boy, this girl, if you sponsor them and you help them, they may become what you want in the next 5-10 years. But we need to spend money to be able to achieve that. Otherwise, everybody's going, mashallah, everybody's doing. In addition to having a specialist psychologist, we'll need a subcommittee of competent people in this regard. So what they will do, they will support and help build. That's how you build generations. And in conclusion, the best subcommittee of every Jamaat is madrasa. You agree with me or not? Madrasa is everything. That's where Aqidah is built. That's where the love of Ahlul Bayt is built. And so all that I've been mentioning, if there is one place for it to be implemented, should be madrasa. That's my dream. And inshallah we'll achieve this. That our madrasa, we don't just give information. We need to ask ourselves, how do we give those information? The how is important. The way you give your son and daughter information will determine the levels of their creativity. Very important. And our madrasa should teach willpower. And last but certainly not the least, madrasa should teach our sons and daughters on how to identify a role model. If we don't teach them in madrasa, where are we going to teach them? May Allah bless our madrasas and those who are putting a lot of effort. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen described his role model. And his role model is our beloved Prophet. He said, Prophet would take a food, bite, and he would chew it, and then he would put it in my mouth. And he would say to me every day, learn one lesson of akhlaq from me. Role model. There are so many role models here. But our sons and daughters, who are they looking up to? You know, the Holy Prophet in Medina, he paired the companions. You know why? If you don't see him in the mosque, ask that one. So with our sons and daughters, that's what we need to do. So that we build the best of all generations for the coming of Imam. Otherwise, I and you will keep complaining, being negative, complaining. It doesn't work complaining. And if I have it my way, in addition to having these specialist psychologists, every Jamaat must have full-time employed counselor. You know, today our sons and daughters, anxiety, depression, mental health related. Who is going to help them? Community. No, if Jamaat cannot, I will say every Jamaat should sponsor their resident alim to become a counselor. Invest on those, because you know, I studied in Hausa. I come from Hausa. I don't know mental health. When people come to me, I will give them Qala Allah, Qala Rasul, which works. But sometimes it's beyond me. I'm not a psychotherapist or physiotherapist, if you like. So our community and people trust the Maulana than any other person. It's the first point of call. This is some of the things I personally believe, and I'm convinced about this because I tried them and tested them. If our community will start to think this way, we will then now be looking at the next 10, 15 years, the type of generation we are building. And the Imam will be proud of us. Tonight, mu'minin and mu'minat, talking of creativity and role modeling, who better to remember than the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And before we look at the companion of Abu Abdullah, some of the companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen found Imam Ali as their role model. One of them is Maytham al-Tammar. You know, they brought Maytham al-Tammar to the palace and they dug a nail on his body and said to him, stop mentioning Ali. If you dare mention the name of Ali, we will slaughter you. Maytham looked at them and said to them, Ala uhaddithukum an habibi Amir al-Mu'mineen. Can I talk to you more about my beloved Amir al-Mu'mineen? Then he began to say he achieved victory in Khaybar, achieved victory in Kandak, for example. On the third day, Ibn Ziyad came and he said to them, do not allow Maytham to speak. You know what they did? They placed a knife on his tongue and they pushed him back on a tree. And they said to me, if you dare say Ali, we'll slaughter you. Then he began to mention Ali. And this brings me to the Safir of Hussein, Muslim bin Aqil, salamullah alayhi. When Imam al-Hussein sent Muslim to the people of Kufa, he said, Inni ba'ithun ilaykum akhi, wabna ammi wa thikati min ahli bayti. Oh, the people, I am sending you, my brother, my cousin, and my trustworthy amongst my Ahlul Bayt. But you know what happened? At one point, there were 18,000 people behind the Muslim bin Aqil. But this 18,000 eventually got trimmed to 4,000 people. 4,000 people got trimmed to 30 people. 30 people reduced to 3 people. 3 people eventually reduced to 1 person. When Muslim was going out of the mosque after Salah, there was only 1 person. By the time he came out of the mosque, there was nobody with Muslim bin Aqil. Muslim then yaltafitu yaminan wa shimala. Muslim will turn left and right alone on the street of Kufa. But eventually Muslim got exhausted and he sat in front of a house. A young girl ran out of the house and she came. She saw Muslim sitting there. She rushed and informed her mom, oh mom, there is a man sitting in front of our house. The man came, the mother came by the name Tawa, you know. She sat in front of Muslim bin Aqil. She said to me, oh man, can I help you? What was the response of Muslim? Muslim said, oh woman, I am thirsty. Oh woman, give me water to drink. She gave him water. She gave him place to stay. But you know, when her son came back home, he heard, of course, what Ibn Ziyad was looking for. He rushed to inform Ibn Ziyad of the presence of Muslim in the house. Ibn Ziyad sent Muhammad ibn Ash'ath. Some narration says with 300 people. These 300 came to the house of Tawa. Muslim came out, they began to attack Muslim. Muslim fought them back. Narration says, beginning, they were attacking Muslim from front. But when they realized how Muslim was fighting back, they called for more soldiers. Now this moment they attacked Muslim from top. They start pelting Muslim on his head. Suddenly one of them smacked Muslim and Muslim fell on the ground. Narration says Muslim rose up and he fell on the ground. He rose and he fell on the ground. At this moment while Muslim was on the ground, someone struck on the back of Muslim. Now Muslim was bleeding profusely and he was calling, oh people help me, I can't see, blood all over my body. But you know what they did? They dragged the Muslim on the street of Kufa. They dragged him. Can you imagine? Muslim was bleeding, blood all over the body. When they got to the palace, because of the way they beat Muslim, Ibn Ziyad could not recognize the face of Muslim. He then said, take him on top of the palace. Some said on top of the mosque, some narrations. What did they do on top? They decide to tie Muslim. Narration says when they were about to tie Muslim, on top of the roof, Muslim called out, oh people, I have 3 requests. What's your first request? He said, I've taken loans from people. Will you be kind to pay back those loans? Number 2, Muslim said, Allahu Akbar. When I die, give me Islamic burial. Number 3, he said to them, inform Hussein. You know what they said? They said, Muslim, ask for your loan, we will pay. But as for Muslim barrier, there is no Muslim barrier for you. As for Hussein, Hussein will meet his death here. But I tell you, this is very painful, Muslim, my dear brothers and sisters. They tied Muslim on top of the roof. Enemies were on the ground. Some were standing next to Muslim. And now they released the body of Muslim. As they were releasing the body, Muslim called out, Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. But as they were releasing the body, they were chopping off the body of a Muslim. At this point, Imam al-Hussein was on his way to Kufa or to Karbala. But suddenly Imam Hussein stopped and he walked towards Hamida, the daughter of Muslim. And he began to pet on the head of Hamida. And he said to her, Hamida, my sons will be there for you, they are your brothers. And my daughters will be there for you, they are your sisters. Hamida looked at Abu Abdullah. She said, oh uncle, is my father dead? Abu Abdullah then asked Hamida, oh Hamida, why are you asking this question? Hamida said, because I know when they put on the head of a young girl, it means she has lost her parent. At this moment, Sukaina walked towards Hamida, and Sukaina hugged Hamida. She said, oh Hamida, I will be there for you. Arbab al-Makadil asked this question. Sukaina was there for Hamida. Who was there for Sukaina when Shimr sat on the chest of Abu Abdullah? Who was there for Sukaina when they placed the head of Abu Abdullah on a golden plate and they began to play with the lips of Uzayr? Who was there for Sakina when they slapped the cheek? Who was there for Sakina when the cloth bent from behind? Assalamu alaikum ya Muslim ibn Aqil. I live with this line. You know, after the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah, you know, they were marched to Kufa. When they entered the Kufa, Sukaina was next to Hamida. A lady walked to them and she asked them, who is Hamida, the daughter of Muslim? She said, Ana Hamida, I am Hamida. You know what she said to her? My father said I should pass salam. Your father said I should pass salam. She said, oh lady, did they bury my father? Did they give water to my father? But the last one, you know what she said? Oh lady, did they torture my father? Allah la'anatullah. على القوم الظالمين إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.